Hello! In this video, we are going to learn about looping over items. Looping is essential when you want to repeat an action across multiple items, such as each row in an Excel spreadsheet, every link in a search result that needs opening, or each item in a node's array output. In Robomotion, we use the for-each node to sequentially process each item in a list or array. To demonstrate iterating through an array of items in our flow, we will create a synthetic example using the function node. So let's start with an inject node, and then rename it to start. Let's add a function node here after the inject node to create our array. We can rename the function as createArray. Double-click to open the function editor, and then we can add an array of numbers to the message object. Save and close the dialog. Every for each node has one input and two output ports. The for each node requires an array input to iterate over. Therefore, we have created a synthetic array in our function node to pass along with our message object. For loop through object, we can enter message numbers here. For the current item, we also need to assign a name. We can give it any name, but let's call it number. While executing the for each node, the current index is set to the index of the current item in the array. This output is optional, but to observe it, let's name this property index. For each iteration of the array, the flow resumes from the top port, and upon completion, it proceeds from the bottom port. Therefore, we can insert a stop node here. After the top port, an action must be taken for each iteration. Let's add a sleep node here to simulate a fake process with a delay of 1 second. So 1 second here. Add a debug node after sleep to observe the message object. And let's run this. So our flow has run. It has executed the for each node, it sleeped 1 second, and then debug node displayed the current message object in the flow. Here in the past message object, we can see our numbers array. Numbers was added by the function node. We can also see the current item being iterated on, named number. And here is our index, 0. But there seems to be an issue with our flow. Our for each node didn't complete, only one iteration passed. In Robomotion flows, for the for each node to iterate over all items, the flow needs to loop back to the start of the for each node. Otherwise, the robot cannot determine where to continue the flow. Here, we can use the go-to and label nodes as we learned from the previous videos. These nodes create much cleaner flows by allowing us to jump to a selected label node from the go-to node instead of just connecting long wires between the nodes. It will now continue to iterate as expected. We can also rename the nodes to improve readability of the flow. Change this to go to next number, and this one as next number. Let's make this for each number. Now let's run the flow again. As you can see, it is now working as expected. The flow iterated over all the items and then stopped. Thank you for watching.